Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, and we are back with another Twitter thread, now also available on Blue Sky. Today I want to talk about one tricks, both decks and players. Yu-Gi-Oh is full of players who only play one strategy, and as the great philosopher Sun Tzu once said, I fear not the duelist who has played 10,000 decks, but I do fear the duelist who has played one deck 10,000 times. Sun Tzu would later lose in the second round of a YCS to a duelist who had played 10,000 decks. Anyway, today I want to talk about the decks that are played by individuals who pick a strategy and stick with it, and how scary it can be, regardless of the format, to sit across the table from them. And I'm going to begin with Plunder Patrol. Both Plunder Patrol and its most famous pilot, the Captain, are really scary to sit across the table from. That's because this deck does so much, so often, and it's so incomprehensible what it's actually doing. As someone who's played the deck a lot, sometimes I watch a Plunder Patrol player play and think, I can't even tell if they're cheating. And of course, the Captain has some pretty notable YCS tops under his belt, including one where he played against Kamal Crooks as like the 16 seed versus the 1 seed and wiped him in like 2 minutes. Let's see what you all came up with. Dyer says, I don't care that the deck hasn't been viable for years. I don't care that the best monsters have been banned. I don't care that 5 people in the world still play it. If you play Infernoble against me, I hate you fundamentally as a person. It's the most boring deck of all time. I wouldn't call it the most boring deck. One player at the table is having fun. But certainly this long-ass combo deck that ends on a quadrillion negates is really frustrating to sit across from. And even on a good day, it's just going to remind you of when it was unhit and impossible to beat. I think we're all expecting to see a ton of stun in this comment section. Oh, Fossil Dynapachycephalo bad. But I love Scarlon's take on this. The type of stun player that constantly says stuff like, oh, I know everyone hates this. I really shouldn't be playing it. Incredibly apologetic, entirely aware no one is having fun. They own other decks, but they play stun every week. Every time someone says that, I go, then why are you playing it? You don't even have to. There's 1,000 good decks you could be playing. People used to be like, oh, well, it's all I can afford. No, it's not. There's a ton of really good decks that are cheap. Look at Broke Boy. You could play almost anything on almost any budget. Oh, well, it's all I know how to play. Okay, spend some time learning a better deck. Well, it's the only thing that can keep up with the meta. Stun doesn't beat Yugioh. Come on. I Wish says, I was the person people hated to sit across from. I played Mystic Mine Numeron. It would OTK if not Memories of Hope or Skull Dread let you dig 8 draws for the stun pieces. I had 1 locals where 3 opponents in a row all side when we were paired. To be honest, I feel this way about you now. I really, it's really funny to hear you be like, oh, I was known for this irritating stun deck. I know you from an irritating Adagnister deck that you are the only person who seems to have figured out. Someone has to shout out the GOAT, Cursed Eyes. Watching them roleplay while performing Cold Fusion with Super Quanta was consistently one of the highlights of the CSMs. Think they have irrevocably damaged my opinion of Super Quants. Because of watching Cursed Eyes, I think that the deck is good, or like the new support will make the meta, when in reality I think it's just one person that knows what they do. Back in college, I knew a guy who played nothing but Mystic Mine Burn until the card was banned. Loved stall, loved making people miserable. This wouldn't be interesting at all, except the guy was a scrawny white boy named Gavin. No relation. It's in their blood. It's in their DNA. I'm telling you. Yeah, that's a perfect example. Listen, I love Jeff Leonard. I wish him nothing but the best, but God forbid if I ever have to play against him. This picture tells a story too. You can even see the hand trap that Raycora has sent to the graveyard before losing to the fucking Exodia FTK. Jeff doesn't even look like he's really there. He looks superimposed on a YCS background. Perfect answer out of Aqua Strider. Every time I see this deck, it's a 95% chance that I'm about to get comboed into the sun in ways beyond my comprehension, because it seems everyone who actively plays this deck has been training in the hyperbolic time chamber for 1,000 years to master this deck exactly. Totally true. I don't know what it is about Fluffle pilots. They seem to be operating on another plane of existence. And when I ask them about the deck, they always go, oh, it's not very good this format. It loses to Ash Blossom. And I go, where? Because I had it and it didn't seem to do shit to you when we played. Wow, sick 9-minute combo you did to end on Secret Village skill drain macro that loses to Nibiru instead of just Feather Duster. What are you whining about Hero. Hero loses to every hand trap in the format. I'm doing the thing from the fluff. Okay, all right, I see. Raphael Rex says, Brazil moment. Since I started playing in 2015, Marco Batalla has always played Infernoid. He stopped YCSs, South American WCQs, and tons of local and regional level tournaments. He even changed to Invoked Despia and topped Rio in 2022, and then went back to Noids. Insane consistency. That's unbelievable, man. Noid is one of those decks where every time I sit down and play it, I'm like, this is the worst deck in the room. And when I see a pilot who knows what they're doing, Vlad is one of these, do their stuff, I go, this is an unbeatable super strategy. Adamata's got a great one. I played Volcanic Snake Eyes FTK for 7 months. I legit had a player who was done with my shenanigans finally just start dropping instantly if they paired up against me. It was the second time he did this that I stopped, but I would have kept going. Deck was super fun. At YCS Raleigh, I was paired against Adamata. We were both undefeated. Sat down, started doing Volcanic FTK stuff, and I looked at my grip and went, why have I not drawn hand traps? I've opened a ton of hand traps, and he just has extension for the Ash and called by for the turn ender. And I'm just thinking to myself, if we played this match a trillion times, there's no way I'd be losing more than 5. I hate Pure Cash Tira so much. Valid, especially when they realize I'm playing Pendulum, and they lock one of my scales. Yeah, okay, so this one is honestly, honestly, you're allowed to be mad. I don't know what to say. You're allowed to be mad. I'm sorry that Konami doesn't want your super type to succeed. I apologize. I am not sure there's still a one trick, but there was one player who played Flower Cardian at an absurd level. Perfect answer. Shouts out to Extrem, an individual back from the 2016 MBT Yu-Gi-Oh channel who would always show up to my streams where I played for 6 people total and say, you know what? I'd like to play a match against you. Let me just load in my Flower Cardian deck. And he would just sauce my ass week in and week out. I swear to God, Flower Cardian players just start cheating at some point and no one ever calls them on it because how the fuck are you gonna know? As much as I hate to say it because I do think these cards are cool, I despise playing versus Raid Raptor because I'll either draw enough hand traps to not let them play the game or get FTK'd by a Kali Yuga or a 6k Towers. I, of course, blame Dimax. It is frustrating that the Kali Yuga build is so much worse than comparable strategies that do similar things, and yet when you play against it, you're like, God, I can't believe I'm about to lose to this. Even on a good day when they're playing the build of the deck that makes sense with the towers, you've still got to open some kaijus or some kind of card that beats it. Master Duel answer, because I only got local access as of recently, I hate sitting across from Dark Magician. The duel is just going to be nothing. Eternal Soul building a remove me and win button combined with a no win condition deck. This is an interesting take on the prompt. Me personally, I like free wins, but I can understand individuals who think, you know, I came here to play Yu-Gi-Oh, not kick a child's teeth in. At my locals, there's a player who only plays Fluanderies. Even after the latest ban list, they won't stop playing it. What's worse is that their phone case has a Dimension Shifter meme on it, and they flip it up each time they activate Dimension Shifter. Wow, I would stop going to that local. Image flip, by the way. Yeah, God, half miss, absolutely correct. I'm sorry, I know it's lesbophobic to hate this deck, but if I have to sit across from one more of you calling this pseudo FTK strategy cool and based, I will scream. It's slightly better after Aelin gives us the new Diabell stuff. I am still screaming into the void. White Woods has got to be the most sit there and spin your wheels deck in modern memory. And like Flower Cardian, there comes a point in the term when I think, God, I just have to trust that they're not cheating because it'd take me 40 minutes to internalize all of these stupid fucking plays. The reason it will be better when Alan comes out is because their plays will become comprehensible. They'll start operating on the same plane of thought as a mortal man. Did we forget Monodium? This deck is just Monodium. Monodium could be on this list too. Fuck a Monodium. Burly! I have a locals player that scarred me. Every time I go to locals, I always make sure to bring some sort of out. But if I go to YCS, I will face it. I know it's not going to be fun. Towers is not fun. I felt similar to this about Pearly for a while, but I really came to appreciate it around like Dune Agov format. I think it is a pretty interesting deck that you get to play fun games against. There's a guy in my locals who one-tricked it forever, and he was always a joy to play against. We would always find ourselves in interesting interactive game states, even when he was able to combo off. So I don't know. I cannot stand Dynamorphia. It's not even for the Floodgate boss. It is because of Ferret Flames. They always go first, they always have it, and there's almost nothing you can do about it. It's so annoying because this card is not good. It's one of those cards that people will play in Dynamorphia. It's such a Reddit tier synergy. They're like, oh, how funny would it be if I resolved this this card. Ho, 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 ho. Something you'd see proposed in the comments section of a YouTube short, and yet every Dynamorphia player is like, I gotta play this card. I don't know, man. This can't be good. CJ says, look, this deck was never good. It's never been even remotely playable. And if you get matched up against someone on this deck, you're going to see a game where you look at your grip and you go, oh, so I just can't win this game. Serziel and Evil Eye just have it all. A towers that can only die by spell trap destruction. This weird, annoying, convoluted combo that uses a bunch of fucking cards you've never read. A single spell card that does absolutely everything a la Branded Fusion, but operates in a way that is totally unfamiliar to you. And God forbid the Link makes it onto the board. There's a guy that one-tricks Galaxy Eyes here at Locals, but the annoying part is how the archetype is split into 3 differently named archetypes, and I have to constantly reread all of them because if you don't pay attention, you will eat 16 trillion damage out of nowhere. We also had a Galaxy Eyes one-trick at our Locals who has moved on to meta. During the period where he was one-tricking Galaxy Eyes, I was excited to play against him because this deck isn't super powerful, but every time I did, I would be like, oh right, I forgot this is homework. Like, to play against this deck, I gotta get reading, and I'd be like, all right, this one searches Galaxy Eyes and Photons. Okay, and for the Link, you need a Galaxy Eyes and a Photon. Or a Gept. Gept counts for both. And the Tachyon Transmigration, you need a Galaxy. This is Madolche players. This has been true since 2013. I sit across the table from someone, and you can just tell immediately they've been playing Madolche for a decade. Ticket and Chateau are 2 cards designed by Hitler to punish me for winning the game. I'm sorry for attacking your monsters in a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! My bad. It won't happen again. And fucking hell. When they got the teacher stuff, the second wave of support, and were playing the Link, you are just never getting through. Do you know what the Madolche end board was after they got the new Link? 4 monsters in defense position. They had no quick effects. Why was that the end board? Because there was no way to get rid of them. You could attack, and then they would go, ooh, Chateau and ticket and Chateau. The branded players who were branded one-tricks achieved a state of enlightenment that I think only Buddha has come close to. The things that people could do with this deck by the end of its tenure in the metagame were truly mind-boggling. Okay, we'll put this one in the video just so we all know we're thinking it. Okay, we're all thinking it. Let's just move on. What this thread has shown me is that many of you feel as if every deck that isn't exactly the one you're playing is a pile of random bullshit that should be taken out to pasture by Konami, but that the deck that you're playing represents the only soulful way to enjoy the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. I have a different opinion. You're all monsters! Why are there Ice Jade one-tricks? What the fuck are you doing with Ice Jades? And can I watch? That's gross. Don't put that in the video.